Good morning, Bob.
Morning.
You can kick things off with Manolo.
Hey, good morning, Bob. How are you?
I'm good, Manolo. And yourself?
Fine, thanks. Dalton Jeffries, the Athletics always love his arm. Some injuries probably in the past, but last year you gave him a shot. Probably he was not ready that day for it. Could you please talk about the way he has progressed from last year to this year, and how you like his chances of probably making the ace team this year?
Well, he's a Cal Bear, like Steve Kroner. Probably get the opening day start. I don't know that he wasn't ready for it. I think he was a little amped for it, and I think his changeup might have been a little hard that day. Probably a little. Should have been a little bigger gap between his fastball and his changeup, and it's not uncommon for a guy to have some nerves, or in your first start. But I think, he's the you look at our rotation right now, and he's definitely the next wave. Sitting here right now, it's probably a little tough for him to make our team in a starter's role with the rotation that we have. But definitely a guy, one of our top prospects that our organization's excited about, and at some point in time he'll settle in with us.
Yeah, a few days ago you told us about Sean Murphy. You have any other updates or any good news for us?
Not yet. Once he gets through, a little reluctant to say when he's actually here, if he's here, based on the fact with intake and all that, there could be some, you never know what pops up there, but we're getting closer, put it that way.
Martin.
Hey, Bob, I noticed the Bob Welch frame next to you. Can I ask about that? What the significance of that?
It's my buddy. And we now with you doing everything virtually, I can't sit on my Bob Welch bench, which I get a little superstitious about as well. He's had pretty good success here the last few years. So we rolled him in a different fashion, but one of the great Oakland A's and one of the great baseball personalities I've ever been around. So this was actually Zach's idea, Zach Bash, and I was all for it. So we'll see if we move it around and some other guys show up, but certainly for day one, I think it was apropos that Bob Welch should be here.
Vince.
Bob, I know Jesus Luzardo has pitched a number of big games for you. He's been in some big moments. And now as you move toward 2021, I would imagine he would be in the mix potentially as your opening day starter. But what's next for Jesus? What's next in the growth for him that he continues to harness the great ability that he has?
How old is he now? How old is Jesus? Like 22? Feels like he's 25. Experience-wise, it feels like he's 25. We have thrown probably more at him at an early age than maybe anybody since I've been here. And the reason is because he's a really talented guy. And as I said in the off season, my expectation of Jesus is to be a top of the rotation starter. And that probably starts this year. So we pitched him in postseason games. We have a ton of faith in him. We brought him to the big leagues and pitched him in a role that he wasn't even used to, and he excelled at that. Last year, I think he hit some speed bumps that probably were new to him. And I think he's going to be better for it this year. We've talked some about that, he and I as well. And he's the type of guy that learns from, I think, those type of experiences and is going to be better for it as opposed to a guy that might shy away. Yeah, I think we'll see on opening day. I mean, Chris Bassett had a pretty good year last year too, but we'll see where we are health wise. But yeah, I mean, I expect him to be a top of rotation guy this year.
Is it just taking the reps to learn about whether it's sequencing or how to take something off a pitch or moving it around, that growth just comes with taking the baseball and competing?
Yeah. And sometimes you can overthink that stuff, and just going out and competing is the way to do it. But he's pretty cerebral. He's a really good understanding of what he needs to do. He's always prepared for games. So yeah, I think he takes an added step forward this year, and I know he's looking forward to to getting a full, knock wood 162 game season in, 30 some starts. And, I believe he'll be an all-star here at some point.
Steve?
Bob, how you doing?
Hi, Crow.
Hey, on the Zoom call a couple weeks ago, you talked about, the struggles last season, just of getting through the day, and how, even if you won, by the end of the day with everything involved, you almost had a headache, even in good days. It's only been a couple days. It's only been a couple days in Arizona so far. Have you had similar experiences, or is it a little bit smoother for the first few days?
You know what? I wouldn't say smoother. I'd say we're probably a little bit more used to it. After what we went through last year, I know when we left the season, we were like, thank God that year's over. Hopefully we never have to do that again. But the fact of the matter is we are going to have to do it again. But based on the, what we had to go through last year, I think we're a little more used to it this year. So, you're going to get there at a certain time. You have to be, on time. You go through protocol, you go through testing and so forth. So I think that the routine of that is ingrained in our guys a little bit more so now. And it just seems like it's a little bit smoother.
Thanks.
Anything else for Bob, guys? Manolo?
Bob, the other day we received the press release that you guys are going to have between 1,800 and 2,000 fans for your spring training games. Do you like this idea that the spring training games, you get fans already? And what are your expectations for the season? You already have talked some plans probably about how many people you're going to have in the Coliseum for the games, the regular season games?
You're talking way over my pay grade there, Manolo, as far as influencing that. But yeah, I think everybody's excited about getting fans in the stands. So, whether it's a reduced rate, I think anything is a step in the right direction. And hopefully, as the year goes along, and the vaccines rolled out, maybe at some point in time this season, you see even more than, 10% or whatever it is in crowds. And hopefully that's the case during the regular season. And as the season goes along, hopefully more and more. And by the halfway point or towards the end of the season, I'd love to be able to say we're back to somewhat of a sense of normalcy. But there's definitely a completely different atmosphere when fans are in the stands, and when you play in front of nobody, I think you're really going to notice it, even though it's it's limited capacity to start.
Okay. Thank you, Bob.
All right.
Well,